In studio with Steve Allen from Emergency Management, Homeland Security, Jefferson County. Steve, good morning. Good to see you.
Good morning, guys.
Stephen Rivera as well from the office. Good morning, Stephen.
Good morning. Thank you for having us.
Thank you for coming in. And we've got a lot to get to, Steve, but before we get to some of the other stuff, I wanted to segue into our conversation with you in regards to some things we used to talk about a few years back when you were in Berkeley County doing this similar job, and that is response to rapid flooding and what turns out in many cases to be deadly flooding.
Absolutely. Over the years, we had several floods. I mean, you're talking 29 years.
Derecho was a heck of an experience.
Well, the derecho with the winds and things like that as well. Yeah, that was some interesting stuff as well. But flooding is definitely one of the areas that, and when I say area, hazards that the state of West Virginia constantly is having problems with because of the narrow valleys and things like that. It just leads to the problems that we have annually within the state of West Virginia. So at least locally here, we've got 20 or 30 miles between the two mountain ranges, so it's not as prevalent. However, I guess the flood of record is back in the 30s with that 1936. That's the flood record generally, and Agnes in 72, and then of course that was before I got into emergency management. I was still in high school.
I was 9
in
during
70.
Agnes.
Oh man, yeah, it shows my age. My experience though that I had within the counties in responding to different types of emergencies and disasters, especially with flooding, is number one, getting the people out and notification. And of course, we'll get into the notification here in a little bit. But we've had a lot of experience in people moving out of the way, getting stuff up and away from the areas. Of course, as a local, everything in disasters, it all starts local and ends being local as well. Through the cleanup efforts and recovery. Although we tend to use FEMA funds for recovery, although it only covers what's not covered by insurance, and it only covers up to a certain amount as well. So when you start looking at how much you can get for different types, it all depends on that. So it's not an open checkbook for the people. They have to do some planning, careful planning and preparedness. And of course, we're very fortunate within Jefferson County that flood insurance, we get it at a reduced rate because of the CRS, community rating system we have within Jefferson County.
Is all flood insurance federal flood insurance?
To the best of my knowledge, but it's through private insurance companies. So I'm not sure just exactly how all of that works.
But it's not standard on homeowners insurance, right?
No, you have to ask for that. Yeah,
right.
You just don't have that automatically, and you're exactly right, John. Yeah, you want to make sure if you're in a flood-prone area, and even you can buy flood insurance up on the side of a mountain, and you never think about it very much, but you could have flooding being up on the side of a mountain because if as rain comes down the mountain, it washes into your basement, and you can have the house washed away by a flood on a mountain.
And actually, in an area like I live, kind of up on a mountain, it's cheap. Flood insurance is cheap.
Oh,
if you're not in the valley where you're going to get get washed away, it's cheap.
Yeah, and it's a good investment. Like I said, we can get 20% off in Jefferson County with the CRS, but that's only outside. That's not within our municipalities. The 5 municipalities don't have that ability. Only the county has it at this point. None of the cities have been interested.
What's been the Jefferson County response to the flooding in the state so far, Steve?
Well, of course I know, and I think you spoke about it on the previous segment in regards to the sheriff's office having people down. We've not had a whole lot of inquiries. However, I've seen inquiries on Facebook and different posts and so forth regarding. We're putting together stuff, we're sending it down, and in many times we caution people on sending stuff down unannounced, because many times what happens is everybody goes into the closet, man, I haven't worn this sweater, I haven't worn this shirt, these pants, these, whatever, in how many years, so I'll just get rid of this and I'll help them out. Well, the problem is, number one, the people that are flooded don't don't have anywhere to put this stuff, even if they have it. So it's very difficult at that time if they've been evacuated or their houses have been completely washed out. So we have to really watch those types of things. So many times we'll direct them to make donations to the American Red Cross or make those contacts with the people in those areas. And like I said, I was on the phone or on a conference call yesterday and asked the questions: do you have a clearinghouse? Who do we direct people to? And we've got those numbers. I don't have them with me right now, but we've got those numbers that we can direct it to people in volunteer organizations active in disasters, VOAD, and a couple of other like the Southern Baptist Convention, the ministries, and so forth.
What's your advice to people if a flood is imminent?
If you are, and of course, number one is turn around, don't drown. I think we've spoken about that so many times, but number one on that. But be aware of the situation. Have a weather alert radio, and Stephen will talk here in a few minutes about what we have and what we offer as far as mass notification system and regarding flash flooding and things of that nature. But of course, our mass notification system he's going to talk about. We're able to notify for all different types, but mainly what our concerns are flash floods, where you don't have a whole lot of time. There's not a other than it's raining and it's coming down cats and dogs, but having that ability to be notified prior to it happening, because in the middle of a fire is not the time to try and figure out how to use a fire extinguisher or why didn't I have a smoke detector or things like that. You want to make sure that prior to you've already done proper planning, you have a kit, where you're going to if you have to evacuate and things like that.
Stephen?
Yeah, so our community notification system is called Everbridge, and it allows us to contact thousands of residents just in a matter of seconds. And for disasters like flooding, but also tornadoes, winter storms, really any threat or hazard in Jefferson County, we're able to notify the public within seconds. It's super easy to sign up. You just go to our website at jeffersoncountywv.org. Again, jeffersoncountywv.org, and it's pretty self-explanatory. What you'll do is you'll click Weather and Emergency Alert Sign Up. So you'll just click that, and from there it's a very intuitive process. You'll type in your information, your name, your number, how you want to be contacted, and just a little note when signing up. You can subscribe to certain alerts. So I don't know about you, but I want to hear a fog alert at 1 o'clock in the morning, right? There's some alerts that I may not want to hear.
I got one at 2 o'clock.
And I was going to bring that up.
I don't ever remember signing up for this service, and I got woken up at 2 o'clock.
Yeah, so did 65,000 of our close
best friends.
Yeah, unfortunately, and we received a whole lot, and that brings up a good point.
What was it for? Was it like snow?
It was a snow squall coming across the National Weather Service. Of course, it's an automatic feed. So when the National Weather Service puts something out, and we've learned there was a glitch in the computer system on that. Because the number of people that had registered for Everbridge only numbers maybe 200 or so right now. So, and then that's why we're on the radio with you all, is to try and get all the people in our listening area within Jefferson County. Of course, Berkeley County has Alert Berkeley. Sign up with these, and you can, as Stephen said, you can pick what you want to be awakened to. You may not want to be a snow squall or a dense fog, but you want to know that there's a tornado bearing down on us, or possibly, if you're in a low-lying area, flash floods, winter storms, severe winter storms, things of that nature. And it also, Stephen didn't talk about it yet, but you're able to tell the system, don't bother me between the hours of 9 p.m. and 6 a.m.
I wish you would have selected that one, huh?
Well, he didn't sign up, though.
I didn't sign up.
Yeah.
Well, isn't there a system now for severe weather, severe thunderstorms and tornadoes? I haven't signed up for any of this.
You've got a new phone.
I do.
Right, and that's the thing. Some of the older phones, as we call, well, home phones don't, and so if you don't have a cell phone, we don't have a way. We don't have a big tornado siren system within any of our counties. I say that, but I know they have a system within Kanawha Valley because of the chemicals and so forth. So they have a siren system down there. But many communities in the state of West Virginia,
lay down on the ground.
Exactly. So that alerting is it is critically important. So that's why we have the landlines, and through Everbridge. We were supplied. Everbridge had a third party that, and I hate to use the term harvested, but they, off of a third party, harvested all these numbers. So if you had a cell phone that's registered to an address within Jefferson County, and it can be 15 years ago, that number, that cell phone number or that home phone number might have been registered within Jefferson County, and since then it may have changed. People change telephone numbers and things like that. But we weren't aware of all these things until that 215 call for the snow squall, and then all of a sudden, why is everybody getting these? Of course, at 2:15, we can't tell the Weather Service when to send out an alert, but we saw the fallacy in it, and that's why we've reversed back, because we turned on that magic switch that says send it to everybody, because if we only have 200 people that are signed up and we have a tornado bearing down on us, that's only 200 people that are going to get an alert. But you're right, John. You do have that with the newer cell phones, but some of the older phones and they have to be smartphones most of the time, things of that nature. So we have that we're combating, and that's why we're in here, is to try and get people to sign up to Everbridge. It's a simple system. Like Stephen said, you can sign up for what you want to receive.
Traffic accidents and such.
We send those out. That's not an automatic weather type thing. Stephen, unfortunately, and this is Stephen's baby. We will be laying it on him because he's still learning the system. Mm-hmm. But sooner or later he'll be taking over, and it will be his baby to nurture and to bring forward and to put those accidents out, the alerts out for accidents, because that's like I said, it's not an automatic. I think Berkeley County has it.
Berkeley County does it on Alert Berkeley, and I know this because my phone goes off about 1,100 times a day for IED1, so I know that's on there for a fact.
Yeah, I wish we had that system within Jefferson County, and we don't, and we need to maybe pursue that and see if we can do that. But having the phones is our siren system now. I mean, many of us, even in the fire service, we get alerts on our telephone now. That our old minitors, the pagers that we used to have, and things like that, we don't use those much anymore. We have Chief 360 is one that we get. So I get an alert. There's a structure fire here or there, or if I have it turned on for the different ones, that there's a medical emergency and things like that.
Now you're about to make my co-host nostalgic, because March 1st you're doing Fire Safety Day.
Ah, yes. We are working with the Blue Ridge Mountain Volunteer Fire Department and the American Red Cross and the West Virginia. I've got a Division of Forestry. I had to get the term. I know it's not Department of Forestry. Division of Forestry. And we're going to have a Touch a Fire Truck Day. Meet your local fire department and things like that. But one of the big things within Shannondale are mountain fires.
Yeah, we're still in a drought in the Panhandle. Correct?
Yeah, we are still in a moderate drought. You're exactly right,
talking about being southern West Virginia being underwater, and we're in a drought still.
Much snow and rain as we've had.
Well, it's getting better, but it's still we just matter of fact, Stephen puts it out every day. We do a situation report, and as a part of that situation report, we also have the drought conditions and things like that we get from the state of it's actually.
And hey, kids, when you climb into that fire truck, be sure to hang on that chain between the seats.
Make
they
the
love
noise.
That.
Yeah, we love the noise. Definitely, they stopped us from doing that many times on. Of course, the fire parade in Apple Blossom, when you have the firemen's parade up there, they stopped us being able to blow the sirens and have the air horns and stuff like that.
I guess that's what the chain is.
The chain is the
Oh yeah, that's
inside joke between you firefighters.
Well, it happens on every open house. Some
Yeah.
kid gets in there, and there'll be somebody standing right in front of that. I guess it's a speaker.
The siren, yeah, the
It's
federal
a-
queue, yeah.
When I was a kid, if you got in trouble as a kid with the police, they'd make you come by for a week and wash the fire trucks and police cars.
Well, washing the wheels and the tires is the probationary firefighters'
That's their job.
many
Is
times.
there any place where people can go and get fire extinguisher training?
And
regular
actually, we're hoping to, within Jefferson County, resurrect the Community Emergency Response Team, CERT team, and we, as a portion of that, we teach the fire extinguishers and so forth. But actually, most business and industries that I'm aware of can go to the public safety training office, and we have one office in Martinsburg. And we can set that up, but many fire departments will offer that up as well.
Stay on that for a second, because with fire extinguishers, I remember years ago my local fire department would have a day where you can come by and get your fire extinguisher checked or recharged or whatever. Do you still need to do that? If you bought a fire extinguisher 10 years ago and it's been in the closet for 10 years, will it still work?
Most chances of no.
Shake
Yeah,
it.
that's well, yeah, and that's an annual thing. We had 700 fire extinguishers when I worked at Fairchild. We had 700 fire extinguishers that every month we walked through the plant and would check the placement and make sure that those fire extinguishers are still good and in service.
I've heard that lithium batteries and fire extinguishers don't really
Lithium
get
doesn't.
together.
No. The only thing
have
you
to
can
use
do
a
with
fire blanket.
Fire blanket, or BURY, berry. You cover it up. It's like magnesium, titanium. It's a flammable solid, lithium.
Don't put water in it.
And if you add water to it, like magnesium, and we've got a few stories on that where we had the magnesium wheels on aircraft, and they would catch on fire. You'd have an aircraft would land, and you'd have a wheel on fire, and the only way you could extinguish that is actually mound up sand around it or move it to an area and that's what's happening with the lithium batteries. You have to move everything away from it.
That's in your garage that you're charging up your
Yep.
your power tools now.
Unfortunately, yeah, it's and you can have those types of things going on, and we're seeing it more and more. Yeah.
What should a homeowner have at their house to combat that?
It's interesting. Those fire blankets are a great conception, man. We've seen a lot of
See, my
good
wife
things out of
got
that.
mad at me for bringing one of those home. She's like, "I'm not letting you go to the store by yourself anymore." It's like as seen on TV.
Yeah.
I'm like, well.
Yeah, it
Put out
worked
a
on
sour
television.
truck.
Yeah,
Here's
It
the
works.
problem I have with the fire blankets. I think they do work.
Yeah.
But first of all, if you don't know what you're doing, you got to get really close to the fire, which
I
a lot of
don't
people
know
don't
what
want
I'm
to do. What they
never stopped me from
often show
trying.
is a pan on
Boiling
fire.
sweet, yeah.
Cooking pan with a handle. And if you approach that pan wrong and you hit the handle first, now you got a big problem with whatever's burning, the grease or whatever. It's
No,
out.
spread.
So with training, I don't have a problem with it. But people buy this stuff and they don't consider what they're going to do with it, and then they can make things a lot
You're
better.
kind of criticizing Harvey for buying that fire blanket.
No, I'll come give you training.
For not training and
I want to go back to fire extinguishers.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
finishing on that thought, if you
Yes,
have a fire
sorry.
extinguisher that's been laying around for a long time, is it salvageable? Can it be recharged, or is it done? Go buy a new one. And what do you do with the old one?
Well, the ones that you see have a gauge on them. And if the gauge is showing green, that's good. However, if they've sat around for a long time, and John can elaborate more, the
powder settles.
Yeah,
It cakes up.
So
Yeah.
if you shake it, that's not good enough.
Yeah,
Well,
it should be.
yeah. The problem is many times people try to shake them, they bang them too hard and things like that. But that's one of the problems with them is, and they're fairly inexpensive. I mean, it's not like a couple of $100s that you're paying for a fire extinguisher like you do for a commercial application. Those are larger fire extinguishers, but the 2.5 pound or 2.25 pound fire extinguishers.
And a water can, I think, is a good thing
A
to have
pressurized
around.
water extinguisher, absolutely, yeah. Good to have for Class A fires.
Yes.
Don't put it on a flammable liquid.
What's a Class A fire?
Wood.
Ordinary combustibles like wood, the things that do ash. That's when you
You
think
have
of,
to remember to talk to us like we're not
Oh, I'm
firefighters.
sorry. A kind leaves an ash
Okay.
So something wood, paper, things of that nature.
Not a stovetop grease fire.
A grease fire is a Class B fire.
And what are you supposed to do with a grease fire?
Well, have the proper fire extinguisher for it. Many times, if you have a grease fire, and John's going to elaborate a little bit.
I just put the lid on it.
Yeah, and have a lid nearby and just put the lid right on top of it.
Or a blanket.
Or a fire blanket.
Not a blanket like.
Your blanket on your bed.
Yeah, a fire
Yeah,
blanket.
right, a wool blanket.
And don't throw it at the handle. Throw it from the top.
Put some of your recycled papers right on
Look,
there.
I bought this thing. I'm going to use it.
One way or the other.
Set something on fire. And
That's the way a man would solve their problem.
And not no Class A fires. I'm going
Steve,
Class
and
B.
Steven, I got a minute left. What do you got for me?
Yeah, so we're super excited about Fire Safety Day, and you're going to learn all about preparedness, about wildfire safety, and a ton of other hazards. We're going to have displays. Again,
Smokey Bear will be there.
A Smokey
Only you.
Bear. So it's going to be a great
forest
time
fire.
for families. It's going to be free. Anything you want to add, Steve?
From 10 a.m. to 2, Saturday, March 1 at the Lakeside Drive near Mountain Lake Club. That's how you be a part of that. I got 20 seconds. Did you have a thought?
Yes. Turn around, don't drown. For that, for the for
Flooding?
the flooding. Thank you, and just be prepared. Have some way of notification. Have some way to build a kit, and know what to do when it happens.
All right, Steve. Thank you. Final minute coming up next.